Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys urged to target projected $81 million behemoth DL. The numbers on the Dallas Cowboys defense were sparkly from the regular season, ranked 5th in both points and yardage allowed to opposing offenses. But a deeper look would show that there were some issues within the Cowboys' D, issues that would rear their heads when the playoffs came around. And the folks at Bleacher Report are looking to Cowboys free agency to fix those issues. Chief on the list is the team's difficulty, at times, to stop the running game. Though the Cowboys got a very good grade of 70.3 at Pro Football Focus as an overall rushing defense, there were too many times this season that the run defense got pushed around. In games in which the Cowboys held opponents below 100 yards rushing, they were 6-1. In 100-plus yard rushing games, the Cowboys were just 6-5. That includes the 143 yards Dallas allowed to Green Bay in the divisional playoff loss. The Cowboys were 0-4 when allowing more than 140 yards on the ground. That's where BR comes in with a big suggestion, a very big suggestion. The site is urging the Cowboys to pursue 6'4", 310-pound behemoth Christian Wilkins in free agency. Will the Dolphins let Christian Wilkins walk? Now, this is based on the premise that the Dolphins will not use the franchise tag on Wilkins, which PFF projects they will do, keeping him in place for another year at $19.75 million. That's a big boost from the $10.7 million that Wilkins made last season, the fifth-year option on his rookie contract. It is also right around Wilkins' predicted market value, which Spatrack projects at $20.2 million per year. The site has Wilkins getting a 4-year, $81 million new deal. The Cowboys would have to cut some corners to make a deal like that happen. They will enter the offseason around $11 million over the cap. They're also looking at sizable contract extensions for 3-star players: quarterback Dak Prescott, wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and pass rusher Micah Parsons. Making Wilkins a priority will not be easy for Dallas, but changing up the defense and toughening up against the run will be important this offseason. Cowboys free agency must address issues. Much of the Cowboys' ability to improve the defensive line next season could come down to the development of Mazi Smith, who was the first-round draft pick of the Cowboys in 2023. Smith showed some improvement as the year went on, but played only 4 snaps in the loss to the Packers, a clear indication he does not have the coaching staff's confidence. Wilkins is a surer option. Wilkins just turned 28 in December and has established himself as one of the league's top run-stuffing defensive linemen. He's also coming off a career year as a pass rusher, one he finished with 9 sacks, 65 tackles and 10 tackles for loss. He played a huge role in Miami ranking 6th in yards per carry allowed, BR wrote this week. Dallas needs to improve its run defense up front, and there's no telling how big of a second-year jump Smith can make. It's also worth noting that defensive linemen Neville Gallimore, Durance Armstrong and Dante Fowler Jr. are scheduled to hit the market in March. What will Cowboys do with Dak Prescott's contract? The Dallas Cowboys' 2024 offseason will be defined by what happens with Dak Prescott's contract. The quarterback has a $59.4 million salary cap figure, second largest in the NFL to Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns. This is the final year of the 4-year, $160 million deal Prescott signed after the 2020 season that included $126 million guaranteed. Prescott's contract stipulates the Cowboys cannot place the franchise tag on him in 2025. He also has a no-trade clause, though all that really means is he can be traded only to a team that meets his approval. Similarly, Russell Wilson had a no-trade clause and was dealt from the Seattle Seahawks to the Denver Broncos. Any such trade of Prescott would require a reworked contract to make it more palatable against the cap for the Cowboys, which is what happened to facilitate the Aaron Rodgers trade to the New York Jets from the Green Bay Packers. Still, a trade is unlikely for a variety of reasons, starting with the Cowboys want to win badly in 2024 and believe Prescott can help them do that. But the Prescott question is not so much about 2024 as it is 2025 and beyond. The Cowboys have 3 options with Prescott and his contract. Do nothing, add voidable years to his deal, or sign him to a massive contract extension. Do nothing. Can the Cowboys carry Prescott's $59.4 million cap figure in 2024? Yes. Does that make it more difficult to add players or retain the guys they want to keep? Yes. But it's not impossible, and it puts Prescott on the same win-or-else track as coach Mike McCarthy, who is also entering the final year of his contract. It also gives Prescott more leverage in negotiations, given that the team can't tag him in 2025 and he would be facing true unrestricted free agency for the first time at age 31. The Cowboys already plan to restructure the contracts of All-Pro guard Zach Martin and cornerback Trevon Diggs, who is coming back from a torn ACL, which could net them about $20 million in cap space. They can restructure the deal of right tackle Terrence Steele too. They can designate wide receiver Michael Gallup a post-June 1st cut and gain $9.5 million, although they would not add that space until June. They can sign All-Pro receiver CeeDee Lamb to an extension that would actually lower his $17.99 million cap figure and make him the highest-paid receiver in the game. The cap is not a myth, but there are ways to work around the cap and push dollars into the future. Add more voidable years. Technically, Prescott is signed through 2026, but the last 2 years of the deal void at the end of the 2024 season. The Cowboys can restructure Prescott's contract again for 2024 and create about $18 million in cap room. They could create a little more if they converted his $5 million roster bonus. But that would increase the dead money in 2025, taking it to more than $54 million. And if the Cowboys sign him to a new deal after the 2024 season, the $54 million would be added into his 2025 cap figure. The Cowboys can add 2 more voidable years onto Prescott's deal in 2024 and create even more cap space this year, but the same dead money would be on the books for 2025. Adding more voidable years would allow the Cowboys to make 2024 an all-in season by spending money in free agency, but it would make things prohibitive in 2025 and beyond. When a Super Bowl drought closes in on 3 decades, fans would be willing to do just about anything if it means having a better chance of earning a Vince Lombardi trophy. Sign Prescott to an extension. By signing Prescott to an extension of 4, 5, or 6 years, depending on what the quarterback would agree to, the Cowboys will have fixed costs at the quarterback position, which is always a good thing when the numbers get this large. And it would give them short-term salary cap relief. It took the Cowboys quite some time to get Prescott signed in 2021. They thought they had a deal in place in 2019 and never really got close again. It wasn't that they did not try to sign Prescott, which has become the oft-repeated narrative. It's that Prescott chose to wait. He played a year on the franchise tag and got everything he wanted in his new deal even after a terrible right ankle injury. Theoretically, he is in that position again because the Cowboys can't use the franchise tag. And now quarterback contracts have soared to an average of more than $50 million per year. At $40 million, Prescott's annual salary, as opposed to his salary cap hit, is tied for 10th highest among quarterbacks. Joe Burrow is atop the market at $55 million. He has gone to a Super Bowl and 2 AFC championship games. After 8 seasons as the starter, Prescott is still looking for his first NFC championship game appearance. Peyton Manning went to his first Super Bowl in his 9th year but already had 2 MVPs. Matt Ryan went to his first, and only, in his 9th season with the Atlanta Falcons. Since 1980, only the Bengals' Ken Anderson started more seasons, 10, before reaching his first Super Bowl. Can Prescott buck the trend and get to 1 in his 9th season? History suggests the answer is no, and the Cowboys have to ask themselves this question. Would they be paying Prescott because they want to or because they have to?